Stand by, Dr. Phil.
Okay, what's the problem, ma'am?
Moments of terror as a woman in this car, being chased by a man she knew, desperately raced to Plantation Police Department. But she only made it as far as the parking lot. As she ran from the car in terror, trying to make it safely inside the police department.
The victim then fled from her car, and the suspect then pursued her through the parking lot and ended up shooting her. It's believed that the suspect then turned the gun on himself and committed suicide.
Well, we're discussing the state of this country's 911 emergency response systems. And it's not just the system, it deals with real people. Well, Executive Director Jeff Robertson is here from the 911 Industry Alliance, and he says that Alita's life could have been saved if her local 911 centers had updated technology. Tell me what you mean by that. What would be the technology?
Dr. Phil, our network across the country is a network that was built over 40 years ago.
40 years ago?
And it was engineered for traditional wired phones. And when we see incidents like this across the country where people are calling 911 on a mobile phone, it's difficult to get the location of that dispatcher, and they tried desperately, the dispatcher, to find out where they were. The technology is there to locate that phone as well as track its trajectory. And I think we could have done a better job on the technology on that front.
I also think there's a perception
One
out there.
botch call. According to our guest, this was a series of calls gone wrong. Now, the first one you're going to hear came from Nathan when he discovered his wife, Denise, was missing.
Northport Emergency.
I just got home from work, and my wife, I can't find her. My kids were in the house, and I don't know where she is.
Your kids are at home by themselves?
Yes. No, I know. I don't know where Mommy is. Her purse is here. Her cell phone is here. I don't know.
All right, Nathan, I have an officer en route for you.
Okay.
Then another call came into 911. This one was from a relative of the suspect who reported a woman tied up in the back seat of a car.
Police emergency, operator Bonnell.
I just got a call from my dad, and his cousin came over his house with a girl in the car, and she was tied up. He came over to my dad's house, borrowed a shovel, a gas tank, and something else.
All right, what's the cousin's name?
His name is... My mom says this guy's crazy.
Okay, I'm going to hang up with you, and I'm going to have a detective call your line, okay?
Well, this suspect's cousin, who provided the shovel and gasoline, eventually called 911 as well. And then there was a call from a witness named Jane who saw something while driving that just didn't add up.
911, where's your emergency?
I just crossed Chamberlain. I'm on 41 going south. And I was at a stoplight, and a man pulled up next to me, and there was a child screaming in the car. And I'm not trying to be overdramatic here, but something's going on. Okay, now it's green, and he's going now. He's going to turn left on Toledo Blade. Do you want me to turn? Try to follow him, or?
Okay. Does he want her to follow him?
Can you turn? I don't know if I can catch up. There's a bunch of traffic, and I can't get over. There's a kid in the back seat, and they kept banging on the window and screaming, like screaming.
Okay.
And not a happy scream, like, get me out of here scream. I mean, I hope they weren't just playing around. To me, it sounded like the kid was frightened and panicky, and I don't know. But instead of taking the chance, I just wanted to make sure I called it in. I'd feel terrible if something would have
no, I'm very glad you did, ma'am.
The kid that was referred to in the call actually was a woman, because all was seen was the hand. And then Denise, the woman tied up in the back, even made a call to 911 herself when she managed to get a hold of her captor's cell phone. Now, that call has been sealed. Now, there were at least 5 calls made to 911 operators over 2 counties that day. But even with all of that information, people weren't able to save Denise.
Did 911 dispatchers do their jobs the night Denise Amber Lee was murdered?
A family mourns a daughter, a wife, and a mother.
Denise was my soulmate and my best friend. I'll never, ever forget about her.
Search teams are still looking for clues where Denise was found. She leaves behind 2 kids and her husband.
Well, Denise to be updated. Representative Kriegel saying we need to have, and nobody ever sent anybody. And I understand that research has shown since that there were at least 3 patrol cars within a mile radius.
Yes.
Of what was going. Jeff, help me out here. What's going on with this?
If you called from a pay phone or your kitchen phone, we can locate you. We have the technology to locate the mobile phone, but we need to upgrade this network now. And it's basically, it comes down to dollars and cents.
Basically, it's similar to Edward and Ada's situation with Lydia, where the cell phone, they got the cell phone from when Denise called. They were getting signals off of towers, not an exact location of GPS. And there's technology, like Jeff was saying, where you can track a cell phone if you have that proper technology.
Okay, well, we also spoke to Charlotte County Sheriff John Davenport, who told... Well, my thanks to Charlie Cullen, Caroline Bureau, Jeff Robertson, and Florida Representative Paige Kriegel for being on the show today, as well as all of my guests that have shared their very tragic stories. And look, clearly, it takes funding, and it's going to be probably on a state-by-state basis. It all comes with a price tag, but this seems like a pretty important thing that we need to do to standardize. So hopefully you'll make some noise in your county and your state. We're working on an upcoming show.